because of the previous contract discussions we had had with Herd, Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane were making $2,250 a week. Tom Zink was making $3,000 a week. Jim Herd, and nothing against Tom Zink, I'd never had a crossword with him. He's a good-looking guy and a good athlete. He could work. I mean, he could have a match. He wasn't a star, wasn't ever going to be a star. He didn't have it here or just whatever. He didn't have it.
Right.
But because Jim Herd paid guys who looked good versus people who could draw money and perform, it was an insult that Tom Zink was making $750 more a week than Bobby fucking Eaton. He wanted to make me an announcer, sign Bobby Eaton to a contract for less money, and put Stan on a per week verbal deal, and split them up as a team. You can imagine what my response was to Jim Herd. I said, I'm not coming to that booking meeting tomorrow or ever, because if I do, I will plead my case by taking these two fingers and putting them 2 knuckles deep in Jim Herd's eye sockets. I quit the booking committee, and when our contract is up here in 4 or 5 weeks or whenever it is, we're done, we'll be out of the way, and that motherfucker can take this company and shove it up his fucking ass and it'll rot. I don't know, some way or another, either he was saying what Herd wanted to fucking hear, or Jim was enamored of Brian or whatever the fuck, but they let the angle run, but they took out the whole throat injury thing and just fucking everything was normal from then on out. And Barnett looked at me and said, if it doesn't draw, blame me. And I told him, I think about 6 months later, Jim, it didn't draw and I blame you. They would take one of the jack-o'-lanterns
put it on your head
and hit me over the head with it, and I'd be running around with a pumpkin on my head.
Right.
And I said, Ole, I'm not putting a pumpkin on my head. I said, it's fucking, I said, we're losing, then our opponents are losing, and the smidgen of heat that I might get for causing the babyface to lose, then they're gonna fucking wear it off with the, and they're not gonna put a pumpkin on my head. Herd wanted to retire Flair, and Herd wanted to have Luger versus Sting be the fucking top match, world title rivalry, whatever. When Sting worked with Flair, it was great. When Luger worked with Flair, it was great. When Sting worked with Luger, not only was it not great, but it didn't draw. Ric Flair, as Booker, had taken Saturday night from a 1.9 to a 4, Sunday from a 1.1 to a 4.4, and the Clash from a 3.8 to fucking, and so, yeah. And Jim Herd would still not leave him the fuck alone. A copy of this memo was sitting on everybody's chair. I have tried very hard to make the committee work and have spent many long hours analyzing the internal turmoil and the reasons for the turmoil. This is from Ric Flair to Jim Herd. I have come to the conclusion that your interference in the planning of the committee and constant changes exercised by members of the committee without my approval is not workable. Well, goddamn, we need a good wrestling bout to keep the people's attention. If Ric Flair is doing a live interview in the ring with fucking Woman, and JR's holding the microphone, and Flair's doing his thing, and the fans are going crazy, that's bad. But if we have a wrestling match involving the fucking New Zealand militia, well, that'll keep the fans' attention. Jim, I need to talk to you. What's the matter? He said, Herd's decided not to do the deal. I said, what are you talking about? He said, he changed his mind. He doesn't think the Midnight should be members of the Horsemen, so he's not going to do it. And I'm still a member of the booking committee at this point, right?
Not for long, but yes.
Exactly, for about another 13 seconds.
Exactly, we got that.
I quit.